11, 13 overs. 11 overs in. NIS Lakers are 84 for 3. Dheeraj Sharma looking good out there. 30 of 22 deliveries. Amol has just walked in. Played a couple of deliveries. Rajesh Modi bowling his third. 1 over 15. Ensuring he gets his field right. They have a long on, long off. He's getting the deep mid wicket a lot squarer. Too far wide outside off. It'll be given as a wide. 5 fielders outside. They have a deep point. A cover at 45. Long on, long off, and a deep mid wicket. Again, too far wide outside off. Second wide. Second consecutive wide. He set up an offside field. 3 fielders on the boundary are on the off. You can see what he's trying to do. Keep it wide outside off. Punched on the up. Punched in the gap. And punched for a boundary. Brilliantly played. Just look at that. Planting his front foot down. He didn't get to the pitch of the delivery. Just let his hand through the shot. But the timing was so very good that the fielder there couldn't cover the ground. Beautiful shot by Amol Saxena. He gets going. This time the ball just cuts in. Brilliantly bowled by Nikhil. Pulls his length back a little. Hint of movement. Ball just nip back into the right hander. Got a short run up, quick arm. Again wide outside off. Third wide of the over. Already 7 of it. So good one for the NIS Lakers. Run rate moves above 8. This time clipped away straight to the fielder at square leg. Amol wanted to run there, sent back by Dheeraj. Good call in the end. That just raced across the turf straight into the fielder's hands. Again, a wide outside off. Fourth wide of the over this. He's not just able to get his line right. The lengths have been really good, pulling back of a length. But it's just that line where he's not even. And to counter that, now he's going to come round the wicket. This time he manages to keep it inside the tram line. You see the batsman there asking for that wide. This time the loopy Yorker played well by Amol Saxena. Waits for it, stabs it on the vacant offside field and will cross over for a single. 9 have come of this over. Still one more ball to go. He's already bowled 9 deliveries. And a change in the field. An extra fielder drops back. The deep cover comes in and There's a deep square leg now who goes back. So probably he's going to attack the stumps. It's a left-hander on strike. So if he misses the line, the batsman lets it go. But it's a dead ball. Probably he's not ready. The bowler just rushed into the action. Nikhil just wants to get done with his over. What we're saying is if the bowler bowls stump to stump, it's easy pickings on the leg side. So he will have to be wide outside off to the left-hander as well. And that's exactly what we are talking about. But they have a deep square leg. Couple of bounces straight into his hands. So that'll be a single to end the over. 10 comes of it. After 12, the NIS Lakers 94 for 3. In the air, lands safely, and he wanted a second there, but decided against it at the last moment. Dheeraj has looked good out there. 32 of 24 deliveries. As we're nearing the back end of the innings, he will have to pull his team through to a competitive, defendable total. The question is, what target are they looking at? At this rate, they will get to 156. They would like to get somewhere around 170, 180. Looks like a very good wicket. See that again, just played it towards covers and crossed over for an easy single. So a lot of grass on the surface there. So you know the wicket is not going to crack up. It's going to hold its shape. The ball is going to come onto the bat at a good pace. So you need few runs on the board. And this one's in the slot, and Dheeraj just launches into it and sends it over the mid wicket boundary for a huge six. Just look at that. That was in the slot, down on one knee, and just sends it out of the park. Huge six. Dheeraj. That's exactly what we're talking about. That he said he will have to be the guy who will do the bulk of the scoring for his side. And then follows it up with a single. That's smart batting. You know you've got the runs required in the over. Don't need to do anything different. Just take a single, get to the other end. 9 have come of this over, still 2 more balls to go. Left hand, right hand combination. Brajesh, an over pitch delivery again. It's not afraid to toss it up. The ball just pushes it straight back to the fielder at covers. I think there's a good line to bowl to him. You always have that option of the ball which is goes in straight. Pull the length back, make the batsman come on the front foot exactly like that. So apart from that one ball where which is pitched full to Dheeraj. I think he's pulled really well. That'll be the end of the over. After 13, NIS Lakers are 104 for 3. Good effort there by the fielder at covers to stop the ball from rolling over to the boundary. And he wanted an overthrow. Bowler just didn't collect the ball as the throw came in from the deep. Now for the right-hander, Amol, there's a long on, a deep mid wicket, a cow corner, which they have taken care of, and a cover at 45 and a long off. Oh, that's through him. Beautifully bowled by Nemish. See what you're talking about, the surface. He's getting the ball to just skid through, hurrying the batter. You look at his run up, it doesn't look that the ball is going to come at that pace. But surface helping him and he's using that to his benefit. This time he gets it in the slot. Chance into the hands and pops out. It's a really good effort by the fielder there. He done the difficult job, caught there, was dying on him in his hand and just pops out. Just look at that. It's really well bowled, wide of a mole. He still throws his hand at it. And a good fielding effort. Just at that last moment, couldn't grab to it cleanly. And little slower, little shorter. Ball plays it towards the fielder in the deep at covers and crossover for a single. Just good, that's just been a catch which is dropped. You know that is going to play on your mind. Better you take a single, get to the other end, regather yourself. Five have come up this over. Last ball, bowling to Dheeraj. He gets it in the in his arc, slaps it towards deep covers. He's timed it too well. He's only got a single. Really good looking shot by Dheeraj. He moves into the 40s now. And after 14, the NIS Lakers are 110 for the loss of 3 wickets. Hiren, who's a new bowler, comes into bowl. 2 overs, 15 for no wicket. Starts with the one stump to stump. Oh, the fielder there at mid wicket tried his best, just couldn't reach. Fall short, but he did well to ensure the ball doesn't go away from him. An awkward bounce there. It's hurt his knee, but he still manages to keep it down just to a single. That's good effort. But the idea by Dheeraj is clear. He's going for the shots. He's not holding back. No, it's the 15th over. He's got to accumulate maximum possible runs. Amol doing the smart thing, just opening the face of the bat towards point. He'll get a single there. Amol has done the basics right till now. He's got his eye in. He's rotated the strike really well, taking the ones, especially to ensure that his settled partner, the senior pro on the crease, Dheeraj, gets on strike. Question is, when is that moment that you see both these batters letting loose? They're currently going at 7.81, get them to 156 at the end of 20. I'm sure, like I said earlier, they'd like to get somewhere around 170 plus. Dheeraj trying to cut, misses that. That's good bowling by Hiren. It's a short run up, quick arm action. This time he gets it in the slot. Does Dheeraj clears his front leg. A really good effort there by the fielder at deep mid wicket. He gets one hand to it, but somehow couldn't grab that. Again in that slot, planting his front foot, swatting it from outside off. But just look at that effort by the fielder there. Plunges himself in the air, gets one hand, but just towards the end couldn't grab onto that. And six for Dheeraj. He moves to 48 of 31 deliveries. And this time trying to go through the offside, misses it. Hiren bowling it a little wider to ensure Dheeraj cannot fetch it from outside of towards leg. Dheeraj tries to go towards covers but misses that. It's good cricket all round, good competitive cricket. The bowler trying to get the better of the batters. The batter trying to respond strongly. 8 coming off this over. Last ball to go. This time he just drives it towards the fielder at cover and sets off for a single. A good quick one. And with that single, Hiren's third over comes to an end after 15. The NIS Lakers 119 for 3. Nemish comes in to bowl his third. Starts off with a really good one. Just back of a length, outside off. Dheeraj trying to go towards covers, missing it. I think that's the line they need to target. You allow Dheeraj to hit it on the leg side, getting it to the cleaners, and that's why you see that this time he walks in. That is in the air, Vishal circling under it, and what an effort! He stops a certain six. Beautiful. Just look at that. He's not in complete control of one hand, and you look at Vishal's effort. But Dheeraj gets to his 50 with that couple of runs. You see no celebration whatsoever. He's put his head down and ready to go for the next ball. Nemish follows it up with a dot. This time drives it through covers. They have a fielder there in the deep who will keep it down just to a single. For the right hander, again the field would change. The deep mid wicket. And just getting their field right. So a long on, long off, deep mid wicket. On the boundary, deep covers now. Just four fielders outside. No, they have a cow corner as well. That gets the fifth. The mole again, just a gentle push towards covers. Take a single. And again, it's the change of field because it's a right hand left hand combination. See, it's never enjoyable for a fielding side to have a right hand left hand combination only because of these changes that they have to do. This time, Dheeraj waits for it and cuts it straight to the fielder in front of square. You'll only get a single. It's a good over, this tied over. Just 4 runs coming of it. After 16, the NIS Lakers are now 124 for the loss of 3 wickets. Hiren to bowl the 17th for his side. This time it's in the air, not in complete control, but again towards the boundary. Really good effort by the fielder. Stops another six. Seeing them telling him catch tha. He's saying मुझे लगा बाहर जाएगा. You see, he jumped there. The ball just tipped on him. It was not as high as he would have thought. But take nothing away from him for that effort. Stop the six for sure. keeps it down just to a single. This time Dheeraj waits for it, ensures he swivels a lot more to put it in the gap between mid wicket and square leg, and this time he'll get a six. That is a good comeback by Dheeraj. Just look at that. He waits for it, and just look at that front leg and that body turning to ensure he gets it a lot more finer of that fielder at mid wicket. The last time, the previous delivery where he had given a chance. So it's good adjustment. Hiren bowling his final over of his spell. And this time again coming round the wicket into the body. And that's exactly what Dheeraj wanted. That's the kind of area he enjoys. That's the angle which he's enjoying. Coming right arm round, and that angle you see the ball coming into him that allows him to access his favorite leg side. That's where he's got maximum of his runs. This time to the wide of long off, a couple of bounces into the boundary. So 10 runs of two deliveries. Just saying that they need to get that impetus going. And another one, but this time he ensures he clears it well, and the fielder there rather just have to walk back and fetch the ball. No need to try and think of trying to catch that. Beautifully played. It's that angle again, that angle wide outside from the wide of the crease. Hiren coming into his body and just has to go for that wild hawk towards mid wicket, which he's been doing consistently to the tee. Hiren goes back to over the wicket. Probably now the idea is to not bowl to his strength, not let him work on that angle that he's so good at. But Dheeraj being Dheeraj sends it even more far behind than the previous one. What an over this has been. Just look at him. He walks back into his stumps to cover that line and open the leg side for him. And then it's just that sheer power. Dheeraj moves on to 77, 43 deliveries. 24 runs have come off this over. Still one more ball to go. They're taking their time to get the field right. The question is, what changes are they going to do? Hiren bowling his last ball of his spell, and more importantly of this over. And this time he stays a little too far on the leg side. Dheeraj couldn't time that too well. We'll have to wait for the umpire signal. It's come off the bat, but he'll just get a single towards fine leg. Hiren will take that anytime. 25 runs coming off that, and suddenly after 17, the NIS Lakers move on to 149 with the last 3 overs to go. They would be now eyeing somewhere around probably 180, 85 with the way they have gone about, especially in the last over. Stacked higher the non-strikers and 78 of 44. 18 balls is what they have. 22 is what Amol has to think about his partner to get to century. And if Dheeraj, like he's done now, keeps the strike with himself, the way he's batting, he'll definitely be interested to get to that three-figure mark. This time covers the line, tries to sweep, paint edge, and he'll get to the other end. Quicker one by Sharad off the inside half towards mid wicket. The fielder there at deep mid wicket couldn't gather it at the first attempt, allows them to complete the second run. Sharad bowling his second over, bowling 18th of the game. Again, a quicker one pushed through, and Amol doing the smart thing. He just gets his bat down in time, opens the face towards point, gets a single, moves to the other end. Four have come off for the three deliveries. A quiet over, compare it with the previous one. A 25 runs game. And this time Dheeraj goes for it, land safe, and he's picked the gap really well to get that to the boundary. The placement has been so very good. 8 runs of this over now. He moves on to the 80s, and that's a smart thing to do. They get an extra fielder on the leg side now, so it's a deep mid wicket, a cow corner, and a long on. That's exactly the area where he's been scoring the sixes and fours in the last 2 3 overs. They have tried to cover that up, and now you see Dheeraj trying to do something different. Flicks it off his patch towards the square leg, towards the fielder there in the deep at square leg. Just get a single. That is what the rising stars wouldn't mind, conceding those singles. It's those boundaries and sixes which will hurt them. Last ball to go, 9 of it. And with the righty coming in on strike, the field again changes. And this time Amol goes for it. And Amol sends it out of the park. Till now, he's been a silent spectator at the other end, watching his partner Dheeraj do the magic. But this time, Dheeraj watches his partner Amol send this one out of the park. Beautifully played. That one was in the slot, and he clears that with ease. Another big over, 15 coming of it. After 18, the score moves on to 164 for 3. Well bowled by Mohsin. Keeps it full, keeps it on his patch, cramps him for room. Smart bowling. He's taken 2 wickets already. Conceded just 12 in his 3 overs, or rather 11. Comes in to bowl the penultimate one of the game. Amol. Strike. A slow one. Clears his front leg. Hit hard towards the fielder at long on. He'll collect it on the bounce. There's two coming off for the first two deliveries of the 19th. Dheeraj on 85. And another Yorker. Brilliantly bowled by Mohsin. What an over this is turning out to be. That brings Amol back on strike. A lot of action happening on center of the pitch. The fielders are changing. The fielders talking to the umpires. And between all of that, the action now shifts to Amol and Dheeraj. Till now it was only Dheeraj, but after that six in the last over, suddenly all eyes on Amol now. And this time he tries to go for a big heave, plays down the wrong line completely, and a big wicket. He misses. Mohsin doesn't. The ball crashes onto the stumps. Such slingy action. Left arm round, and Amol was nowhere near that. The fourth wicket down for the NIS Lakers. The 18.4, they are 167 for 4. It's an important wicket in the context of the game because you just felt that okay, now even Amol has started to get going. And you had to stop the flow from at least from one end, if not from both. The best thing you do is you take one batsman out, keep Dheeraj at non-strikers end. That's what Mohsin has been successfully able to do. This time Karthik gets it in the slot, goes straight down the ground, and no chance for the long on or the long off fielder. That's a boundary. The delivery, Karthik was ready for it. Just cleared his front leg. Didn't try to hit it too hard. He knew he just had to place it. Does that really well, and he'll get a boundary. What a way to get off the mark. Especially the time you walk in. You walk into the 19th over. You know people expect you to go big, get runs on the board. This is one way to do that. Last ball of the 19th. Slow ones. Beautifully disguised that by Mohsin. Really good spell. Just 7 coming off this over and a wicket. After 4, Mohsin will end his spell at 3 for 18. It's really good in the context of the game. And after 19, the NIS Lakers are 171 for 4. Nemish to bowl the final over of this innings. Dheeraj on strike. He's been off strike for a lot of time in the previous over. Just one chance. He just needs 14 to get to that 3-figure mark. But what a knock this has been. 86 of 49. And he's on strike. Karthik, his partner, has just walked in, smacked the boundary on the first ball. So what will Dheeraj do? Chance. Then he doesn't throw. Low full toss. It's too far wide outside off. Dheeraj gets it off the bottom of his bat towards the fielder at cover. Mohsin does well to collect that. He didn't throw because there was no one back there to cover up for that. Happy to concede that single. More importantly, what that does is that gets Karthik on strike and Dheeraj off strike. So, is it a good thing for them? Again, a cow corner, deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and a deep cover at 45. Karthik throws his bat at it, gets an under edge to the fielder at fine leg. Crossover for another single. Quite start to the final over. Last 4 deliveries to go. Just 2 singles have come off the 2. We did speak about at one point them trying to reach about 170, but the way the 17th, 18th over went, surely they would be looking at 190. And that's a run out. Dheeraj has lost his wicket, form of a run out, or rather, you can say threw his wicket. He is so exhausted, he just couldn't get down and push for that second run. It was played towards wide of long on. Vishal Sharma, the fielder, there gets to it. A good throw to the fielder, to straight to the keeper, and he just given up midway. No attempt to try and get into the crease. But what a knock this has been. Take nothing away from him. 87 of 50 deliveries. Rightfully gets the applause from his teammates. Done the bulk of the scoring for his side. Surely would have liked to finish it, but not to be. 3 runs coming off this over till now. 3 more balls to go. 174 for 5 now. Very nice Lakers. It's Ashish Joshi who makes his way out to the middle. First ball wide outside off, swings it, fetches it from outside off towards the leg. The fielder at deep mid wicket does really well, charges onto the ball, allowing them no room whatsoever to try and go for the second. It's a really good attempt, really good effort in the deep. Just another single. 4 runs coming of it. Karthik waits for it, cuts it to the fielder at deep point. Again, just another single. So they're trying to hit the ball too hard. They're managing to connect as well, but they had the fielders placed there. So that's good bowling by Nemish, bowling to his field. Five have come off the five deliveries. 176 now. Last ball of the innings. Ashish on strike. Gets it in the slot, fetches it. Chance. The mid wicket fielders happy to take that on the bounce. A throw there. Throws a little too wide. Allows them to complete the couple. So good finish to this innings. The NIS Lakers end their 20 on 178 for 5. The target for the Rising Stars when they come back with the chase is 179. players have made their way out to the middle, and we are all set for the chase to begin. Vishal Sharma on strike. Mohsin Khan opening with him. Jitendra with the ball in hand. First ball trying to go across. They appeal immediately. Vishal signaling it's come off an inside edge. This time driven straight down. Hit hard. The bowler using evasive action to get out. The fielder there at long off will collect that, keep it down just to a single. The rising stars are off the mark with that single, and so is Vishal Sharma. This one just goes straight with the arm. Mohsin throwing his bat at it, does not connect. Good start by Jitendra to his spell. A dot, single, and a dot. They're chasing 179 runs for victory. The ball was nowhere close to the bat. Mohsin just slogging in the air. Ball was nowhere near. But that angle with which he's playing has prompted a change in the field. An extra fielder on the leg side now. The deep point now comes in, and there's a deep mid wicket which goes back on the boundary. And that's a wicket. Mohsin trying to step down the track and play it towards cover, missing it completely. And the ball strikes, and the first wicket for the NIS Lakers. Mohsin Khan walks back without troubling the scorers. What a start this has been. The Rising Stars are 1 for 1. Darpan Tank is the new batter who's made his way out to the middle rather early than he would have expected to. And yeah, another Yorker length, bowling it full, cramping him, giving him nothing away. Darpan just push back to the bowler for a dot. What an over! After the first over, the Rising Stars are 1 for the loss of 1 wicket. just been a tight over by Vibhu till now. Just 3 runs coming of it. Last ball to go. They've done well to put pressure on the Rising Stars in the power play. The bottom of the screen, the current rate just over 2. The required rate over 9.5. It is the power play when you expect the opposition to go hard at you, get maximum possible runs. If you're able to tip them over that, you're already ahead of the game. And that's exactly what the NIS Lakers have been managed to achieve up until this point. And that'll be a dot to end, just 3 coming of it. After 2 overs, the Rising Stars are now 4 for the loss of 1. And Jitendra's continuing his blitz that we had in the first over. Good ball again. That angle coming into the right hander. Vishal just plays with a close face towards mid wicket. Take a single, get to the other end. I'm just missing his run up there, but what a spell this has been by Jitendra to start off. And the first real release shot that we see coming from the Rising Stars. A much needed boundary coming off the bat of Darpan Tank. And the keeper just couldn't gather it cleanly down the leg side. So wide and an extra run. To talk about a field, a ring of fielders on the off. Just look at, there's a third man, there's a backward point, a cover point, and an extra cover and a cover. And that line outside of Vishal trying to drive it through covers, missing it completely. Lucky not to get an edge. But if you talk about the field, 6 fielders on the offside inside the circle. Just one fielder on the leg side, which is a long on, who is inside the circle. Then edge, but somehow Vishal manages to find a gap, and the fielder there from long off does really well to cover the ground and ensure the ball doesn't roll over to the boundary. But that has come off the dead drop bottom of the bat. Last ball of the third over. Walks in, tries to swat it, gets an inside half of the bat towards long on for just another single. So good over for the Rising Stars. We get some bit of move on here. After three, the Rising Stars are now 14 for 1. Bibu starts off his second with a dot. Spirited spell by the new ball bowlers of NIS Lakers. And first real powerful shot we see from Vishal Sharma. A shimmy down the track, makes it into a low full toss, closes the face of the bat at perfect time to get it between the gap of mid wicket and long on, and gets it to the boundary. Slowly and steadily, you're seeing that the Rising Stars are now coming into their groove. A boundary in the previous over, a boundary now. Suddenly move on to 18, into the fourth over. Need another 161 runs to win. It's way down the leg side by Vibhu. So bonus runs. These wides are. The Rising Stars will happily accept it. They need those as well. Vishal now plunges it straight down the ground for a boundary. Again, you see the bowler taking the evasive action, just jumping over the ball, ensuring he takes care of his foot. That's the power with which Vishal Sharma is hitting the ball. He just doesn't want to get it to the boundary. He wants to rocket it to the boundary. And the outfield also help in his cause. Just two boundaries coming in this over. Make that three. A little overpitched. The previous one was to the right of the umpire. This one to the left of him. And suddenly it becomes a 13-run over with still two more balls to go. Just three had come off his first over. Vibhu this time it's bowling to his strength, bowling it full. There's a long on in place, mind you, but he's timing it so well, placing it so well. There's no chance for that fielder. Even this time, bowled it slow, waits for it, plays it with soft hands. Crossover for a single. And this is what happens when you get the bowler under pressure. They try to do something different, you get a wide. And Darpan giving his all, trying to cut, misses it into the keeper's glove. So that'll be a dot to end. 15 runs coming of it after 4 overs. The Rising Stars are 29 for the loss of 1 wicket. Chance! Fall shot. Ken coming off the bottom of the bat. You immediately can see Vishal having a look. It's a very weird sound which came off that bat. Brilliantly bowled by Jitendra. Slower through the air. Oh, directed could have been tight. But what an effort. That's the kind of effort that you need. Put the opposition team under pressure. Saw Vishal charging, bowls it slower, and then throwing himself around. What will be his follow up? Walks in, shot, chance gone. Big wicket. Vishal Sharma was looking dangerous, and that's a smart delivery. Yes, he's got a wicket, but you just look at all his previous deliveries, he's bowled it full. This time round, he goes wide outside off, bowls it short. Vishal is already in his motion trying to hit it towards the leg side, has to adjust at the last moment, and in that gets it right out of the bottom to the fielder at covers. Big wicket, number two down for the rising strikers. After 4.3, they are 29 for 2. Harsh Dubbal is the new batsman. This is a new batsman who's made his way out to the middle. The required rate still hovering about at 9.6 run mark. Trying to flick, walks in. The appeal lucky. The umpire saying going down leg. And just played towards covers for another dot. Good comeback by Jitendra post that wicket. Caught struck for a boundary in his previous over. This is how you make a comeback. No runs off the bat yet in this over. He's pulling his last. And beautiful. What a shot by Darpan Tank. Square drive all along the ground. Gets down on one knee. And that's pure timing. Elegant. Pleasing to the eye to watch. And a boundary to end that over. After 5, the Rising Stars are now 34 for the loss of 2 wickets. Rahul Bajaj, the new bowler, to bowl the last of the power play. I think both the other two bowlers, 2 over spells each. They have done a fantastic job, or rather 3 and a 2 over spell each. Fantastic job to keep things tight and to get their team in a really comfortable position in the first 5 overs. Now it's up to Rahul. How will he end that? Starts off with a good one outside off. Good to see that bounce as well. The keeper collecting it above his waist. Rahul bending his back. This time a full toss. Easy pickings for Harsh. Just has to flick it past mid wicket. Does that with ease and gets a boundary. Much needed one. Last over of the power play. You got to maximize. The field opens up after this. So try and get maximum possible runs in this over. Get your eye in. Play a few aggressive shots. Less risk as only two fielders outside, and then build on to the innings as the game goes ahead. They've got 4. It will be interesting to see how manage in the next set of 4 deliveries. Harsh gets off the mark with that boundary. And this time driven straight, but what an effort by the bowler. He stopped a certain boundary, if not a couple, at least. Just conceded a single. Cheeky shot by Darpan, but again just a single. 6 runs off this over, still 2 more balls to go. Rising Stars reach 40 here. See the required rate still above 9.5. Another 139 runs is what they require. This time cut away and cut away well. Get a boundary. Last ball of the power play. That last one was a very well calculated shot by Harsh. He waited for the ball to come, a deft touch because he knew he had to get it past the fielder there at third man. And what else that brought about is a change in the field. The deep mid wicket walks inside the circle now. They have a third man on the boundary. Last ball cut away. The fielder at point is giving it a chase. Stop it ultimately and keep it down just to a couple. So good over 12 coming off that for the Rising Stars. After the power play, they are 46 for 2 with requiring another 133 runs in the last 14. Darpan does well to keep that out, opens the face, but straight to the fielder at point. Again, this time he plays it well. The fielder at third man giving it a chase, uses his legs, but eventually the ball rolls over to the boundary. The bowler not happy, and rightly so. He did well to reach there to the third man fielder, used his legs, but that just rolled over from there. Beautiful. Beautiful by Darpan. Slices it. And it's just that bat swing, that pace at which he just slices the bat, the power which he generates. Consecutive boundaries to start the seventh over. So even after the power play, that's a good aggressive start. And it's Darpan Tank who moves on to 18 of 12 with that. The previous delivery was full wide outside off, almost a Yorker outside off. He opened the face, got it past point and third man. This one was a little back in terms of length. So what he does, he slices it. This time it's bowled full, and a misfield there allows them to run the couple. Good aggressive running, good pressure put on by both of these batters. That was ideally just supposed to be a single. The fielder at long on couldn't gather it cleanly. One call, and both the batters respond. This time towards the fielder at cover, get a single. 11 of this over. Last ball to go. Split down the ground towards long on for a single. That will be the end of the seventh. 12th coming of it. After 7, the rising strikers are now 57 for the loss of 2 wickets. It was just a hold in play as Darpan was getting his shoes changed. But with that short breather, we are ready to go. Another one straight down the ground towards long on. That'll be another single. So this is a good partnership brewing between Darpan and Harsh. Swept, swept really well, but they have a fielder there at deep square leg, so he'll just get a single. But Darpan has looked really good, really elegant in his shots. Be it this sweep, be that slice which we saw, or that deft touch where he just opened or played out that Yorker wide outside off towards third man for a boundary. He's looked good. Harshal on the back foot, punched it towards covers. Oh, and they set for a run, or rather, Darpan sent for a run. Harshal didn't want to take that, but had the bowler collected that throw from covers, it was curtains. But to his luck, the bowler just couldn't hold on to that. The last thing what is now is a run out. And definitely, this is also not something I want. A misfield. Nothing wrong with that delivery, or it was not such a bad delivery, but Darpan just stands where he is, pulls it, and through the fielder there at square leg. So suddenly, a boundary like this gives you the chance to get back into the game. They know they have to chase about more than 9 per over. And every boundary is important. This time sliced again over point for another boundary. The point to see here is those fast hands. Just look at the way he slices that. There, that power which he generates and allows the bat to just go all around his body in that circular motion ensures that he gets enough power to get it inside the infield, or rather over the infield, to, and inside the boundary rope as it goes a couple of bounces. Again, this time waits for it, just opens the face towards point, towards backward point, and take a single. The over comes to an end with that 12th coming of it. After 8, the Rising Stars are now 70 for 2. Rising Strikers after 9, 70 for 2. The required rate looking comfortable now, just under 9, going at about 8.75 per over. That man on screen on strike, Tarpan Tunk, has been the one who's got them to this position. Still a lot of work to do. Chitendra bowling his fourth, forward push by Tarpan towards the leg side, and we take a single. So you see the decision from the captain of the NIS Lakers to get in Jitendra. He's been his strike bowler, got him 2 wickets. He'll be bowling out in the ninth over itself. So that's a good strategy that you want to put pressure on the opposition, not thinking of taking the game deep, and immediately a fall shot. This is something which we had not seen for the last couple of overs, but Jitendra comes in and suddenly you see something happening. The captain has got him to get a wicket. The captain has got him to break this partnership. Over covers. The fielder there at cover was interested for a moment, but comfortably over him. They'll get a couple of runs. Jitendra this time correcting his line a little bit, getting too straight, so that'll be a wide down the leg. A slow one. Harsh waits for it, drives it at deep covers. Happy to take a single. Last two balls of G2 spell. Bowling to Darpan, really good one. Just add another single to the total. Last ball of the ninth. Harsh on strike 17 of 12. The question is still how far are they going to pull the game? When are we going to see the rising strikers batters let loose? Like that. That was in the slot. Goes for it. One bounce to the fielder at long off. And the ninth over comes to an end. The Rising Stars 77 for 2. Jitendra will end his spell with 2 for 22. Jitendra has been the pick of the bowlers for his side. Has taken both the wickets to fall till now. But the question will be for the NIS Lakers captain, who is going to be that bowler? Who is going to win with this game? Jitendra has bowled out. He's done his job. Can't bowl anymore. Talk about a field. There's a short third. There's a point and an extra cover and a fine leg, a wide fine leg inside the circle. There's a deep mid wicket, a cow corner, long on, long off, and a deep extra cover on the boundary. So you can imagine what line is going to bowl there exactly. That's where he wants to be. But what placement! Beautifully placed. The fielder at cover inside the circle had no chance. The long off fielder was running for it. There you see it just teased him into the boundary. So good start to the ninth, or rather the 10th over. They move into the 80s, do the Rising Stars. And more importantly, the required number of runs comes down under 100. And what happens after that is a wicket. Against the run of play, something which was not expected. Harsh was looking really good, especially after that boundary where he drove the ball through covers. Just look at this time. What happens? He steps down, tries to go for that big. He misses it into the keeper's gloves. He's happy to take the bails off. Credit to the bowler for working on his length. As soon as he saw him charging down, pulled the length back a little to induce that fall shot or a miss shot, and that's exactly what happened. Conceding 11 of his first over, the captain still threw the ball to Umesh, then was struck for boundary of his very first, and then comes back with a fine piece of delivery to get a wicket. Nikhil is the new batsman who makes his way out to the middle. And he gets two, chops it on, too close to cut, and number 4 down for the Rising Stars. So the Lakers are on top of this game. Let's look at that replay of that. You see, he waits for it, gets it under edge, the ball crashes into the stump, and unfortunately, he'll have to walk back. And as we are approaching the end of 10th, with that wicket falling, the players will have a sip of water. We'll be back with a drinks break. Ajit Nair to face the hat-trick delivery from Umesh. Slighted, driven all along the ground towards deep covers for a single. Ajit will get off the mark, but what a spell, what an over this has been for Umesh. Can't call it a spell because the first over is where he conceded 11. But after here, the first ball being struck for a boundary, then to come back with two back-to-back wickets, I think that's a commendable effort. Make that two boundaries. All hopes for the Rising Stars rest on this man's shoulder. Darpan Tank has been absolutely classical in all the sort of shots he's played. He's getting runs, he's getting those boundaries, but none of them have been fancy shots. All have been textbook cricketing shots. And if you can do that, I think that just shows the quality of player that you are. Score moves on to 86. Another 93 required in the next 61. Last ball of the 10th. Darpan on strike. Quicker one, push through straight. Smartly played by Darpan. That'll be a dot to end. After 10, Rising Stars will be 86 for 4. Going into the back end of the innings in the last half, they would require to score at 9.3 per 0 to get to the total. Another 93 required in 10 overs for the Rising Stars. First ball by Gandhar, right on the money, bowling it stump to stump, not giving any room to Ajit to work for. Another one, stump to stump line. I think Pranav is wearing his pace really well. That makes it difficult for a batter to get across. This one straightening a little too much. That'll be down the leg side. Wide. Played with soft hand straight. And the fielder from cover will cover it and keep it down just to a single. So just two of this over till now in the first three. Darpan taking his time out there in the middle. He knows that his wicket is important. Another one pushed through from the front of hand, trying to be faster, trying to be slower, or probably the googly as well. Didn't turn, but this one, Darpan waits for it down on one knee and driven for a huge six. Beautiful. I think that's the kind of batting that we enjoyed watching in the first innings. And even Darpan now is continuing with that elegance. This one was pulled a little slower, pulled at a good length, but on the up, planting his one knee down. Beautifully played. Too much flight outside off, and those are easy pickings for Darpan, especially the form he's in. He moved on to 43 of 23 now. Oh, and how did that miss? That one felt as if the ball came from space. It took forever to come down. And Darpan trying to open himself, play what you may call it as the helicopter shot. Gets it right out of the bottom of the bat. Lucky that didn't go on to hit the stumps. Good stop by the fielder in the deep. That was a full toss. It's there to be put away, and Ajit did manage well. But the fielder there in land and cleared it. 11 overs done. The Rising Stars 97 for 4. They need another 82 runs in the last 9 overs. The required rate still above 9. They lost two quick wickets in the last 2 overs. So it's now a rebuilding job again for Darpan and Ajit. Umesh to continue driven to cover straight away for another dot. He's come and turned the game round. 2 wickets for the opening bowler, then 2 wickets straight for Umesh. A huge gap between these two, but they have come in bundles. This one goes straight, and it's given as leg pies. The umpire clearly saying that the ball was hit outside. So Umesh is creating chances. Caught two of two in his previous over, and even here as well. Being a leg spinner and using his variations to good effect. And he finally gets it. That is something which Umesh wanted. And that's a big wicket. Darpan Tank, 44 runs for his side. One who's bailing this side out, unfortunately, has to walk back. You see that, just look at the way he releases that ball. It's not a leg spinner grip, it came front of the hand and pushed through quicker. Darpan trying to just cut it, or rather just glance it towards point. Our third man gets in under edge and the ball crashes into the stump. Half of the side down now for the Rising Stars. The big wicket of Darpan and Umesh, the record in chief. 11.3 overs, the Rising Stars now 98 for 5. And what that wicket has done is suddenly you see all the NIS Lakers fielders shouting and cheering. They know they have +1 on the opposition. Oh, what? That was hit hard, that was hit flat. What did the fielder do? He just went there with his legs, didn't use his hands at all. And you see, rightfully, all of his teammates are not happy with that effort because there's a possible of a potential injury. Sharad gets off the mark on the very first ball. Ajit now drives it towards the fielder in the deep. Get another single. So just 4 runs coming of that, but more importantly, a wicket and a big one. After 11.5 overs, the Rising Strikers reached the 300, the three-digit mark, 100 for 5. They're appealing for caught behind, but the umpire unmoved. But suddenly, you see in the last 2 overs, the NIS Lakers are now putting pressure on the Rising Stars. Suddenly, you feel as if the Rising Stars are going into a shell. And this one again bowled slow. Ajit trying to play it on the leg side, missing it. The bowlers now have a spring on their stride. Gandharv lofted, a huge six. That one was in the slot. That invited with a six, and Ajit is not going to miss out. Just look at that. Flighted chest pitches in the very slot, and Ajit just has to extend his arms. He does that happily. Gets it for a six. Much needed six that for the Rising Stars. One thing you got to credit about them is that the required rate they've not allowed it to touch into double digits. It's always been 9 point something. Again, this one pushed through a little quicker on the pads as Ajit tries to work it on the leg side. You see, there's no fielder in front of square inside the 30 yards on the off on the leg side. So that is the area which Ajit is trying to target. Too full on the offside and driven really well for the boundary. That's a replay worth watching. Just look at that. Jumps on the off. The ball rolls over all along the ground to the boundary. So 10 of this over, still last ball to go. This is what we're talking about. Somehow they managed to get a 4 and a 6, and the Stars keep the required rate in check. This time down on one knee, fetched it from outside off. Fielder at long on will cover it down, keep it down just to a couple. So 12 come of that over. After 13, the Rising Stars are now 112 for the loss of 5 wickets. New bowler coming into bowl, number 19, Dheeraj Sharma. Left arm round, starts off with a good one, bowling on that middle and leg line, cramping the bowler, cramping the batsman for room, plays it down towards long on for a single. In the air, chance, and taken. Dheeraj strikes on his very second delivery. The fielder there at long off waited for it, took it too close to the ground, but felt as if it was always in control. And Ajit has to walk back, trying to be the aggressor. Similar sort of a line as the previous over where Ajit hit it for a six. Just look at that, he collects it so very close to the ground. But he did that rather comfortably. So sixth wicket down for the Rising Stars. After 13.3, they are now 113 for the loss of 6 wickets. Hiren walks in at number 8 for the Rising Stars. A big mountain to climb. The required rate now over 10 for the first time in this game. Just 4 wickets is what the Lakers need to get to win this game. 66 from 39 deliveries. Hiren taking his time to first ball, worked away towards long on for a single. Another one trying to go for that big heave off the inside half towards long on. Another single. That's good bowling by Dheeraj. That line which is bowling is using his crease to very good effect, going wide of the crease, angling it into the right hander, and then after pitching the ball, just straightening a little. We, this time Yorker lands straight into the stumps. Somehow, Hiren manages to get it past the bowler, and they take another single. 4 runs and a wicket of that. After 14, the Rising Stars are now 116 for the loss of 6 wickets. Rahul comes in to bowl the 15th over of the game. These next 2 3 overs are going to define which way the game goes. The NIS Lakers need to keep it tight, and that is exactly what I was talking about. If you give such easy pickings, Hiren does not miss out on that. Little shot on the legs, swivels and pulls it behind square and gets a boundary. It's a good way to start the over and a much needed boundary for the Rising Stars. 59 more required in 35 deliveries now. If you look at it, it's not a difficult task. It's not an impossible task to get. It is going to be difficult for sure. But deliveries like this will definitely help the Rising Stars get to the total. 5 of 1 delivery. The required rate is somewhere around 10. So they got half of the runs in the first ball of the over itself. On the legs, flicked away, straight to the fielder at long off a yes no, and comedy. That is absolute comedy. Flicked away at fine leg. The keeper collects it. The striker has run. Non-striker has reached the striker end. Keeper throws. The bowler there couldn't collect it cleanly, and he gets a life. Does Sharad, and more importantly, they don't even get a run there. So Sharad has run two for his side, but unfortunately, none of it will be counted. An easy chance of closing the game gone down for the NIS Lakers. Chances like these is what you can't afford to miss. You'll see the pressure showing on both the sides. And Hiren responds with a beautiful cut shot that was outside off, and he places really well. The AFC covers the line of the ball and just cuts it smart. 9 have come of this over till now. They're well on course, are the Rising Stars to get to the total. I did say that these 2 3 overs are going to be really very crucial. Smart batting by Hiren. He always wanted that to be just a single. Soft hands, just taps it and sets off for a single. They've already got the required number of runs in this over. No need to take any undue risk. Add one more to that. This time bowled into the body. Sarthak just places it towards mid wicket, gets it to another single. Last ball of the 15th. Open the face of the bat smartly to guide it towards third man for a single. 13 runs come of this over. After 15, the Rising Strikers 129 for 6. And they need exactly 50 runs to win in the last 5 overs. We are in for an interesting chase here. And a big wicket. This is exactly what we were talking about, that what they need is a wicket, and somehow they get that. Dheeraj Sharma bowls it full, bowls it wide. Hiren goes for it, and a comfortable catch there by the fielder at long off. He's taken two good catches. One very close to the ground. This one rather comfortably away from the ground. The seventh wicket down for the Rising Stars. Things starting to look bleak now. Hiren played wonderful cameo, if I may call that. Struck two boundaries in the previous over, and then this time trying to aggressively hit that for a six. Gets it to the fielder at long off, down his throat. Has to walk back. But have to credit Dheeraj bowling his second over. Came into bowl when things were tight. Got a big wicket to start off that of Darpan, and then this Rajesh Modi comfortably places it towards covers. Take a single and they set off for a second. That's good running. The fielder from the deep took time to cover that. He was expecting the fielders inside the circle to run in and take that, and in that, strikers managed to sneak a second. 48 required in 28 deliveries. Required rate over 10 now, 10.29. And every time I've said this, somehow the Rising Stars batters have managed to find boundaries. Brajesh tries to flick it off his pads or gets it off his pads, and they'll sneak in a leg by. The singles are actually not going to hurt the NIS Lakers a lot. They are comfortably have the grasp of this game, especially with Hiren's wicket falling in the first ball of this over. They would feel that yes, they have the upper hand. Two full outside of Yorker length, inside half of the bat. Good call by Siddharth. By Sharad rather, sorry. Apologies for that. Brajesh wanted that second. Sharad sending him back. This time waits for it, cuts it really well, but they have a fielder there in the deep. Just another single. So tied over this by Dheeraj. That is exactly what they require. Shot wide, out of his grasp, out of his reach. That we are taught to end. So another successful over for Dheeraj. After 16, the Rising Stars are now 134 for 7. And Vibu starts off with a dot. Crucial over. The required rate over 11 and a half. The Rising Stars need to get a move on in this over. if they need to get back into the game. They're appealing of the underage, and that's given. They were desperately appealing for it. It was an underage. The umpire just confirming with the square leg umpire whether the gather has been clean. The umpire at square leg nods his head, and number 8 down for the Rising Stars. Wibu comes in and immediately strikes. Ball wide. Rajesh trying to go for that big heave over mid wicket. Gets an under edge. And just look at that wicket keeper. Just look at how desperately he wants that wicket. And as soon as the fingers raise, then that celebration. Yes. 45 is what they require in 22 deliveries. Required rate over 12. Nemish, the new batsman who walks in first time, gets it off his outside edge towards a backward point. Get another single. This time they went straight down the ground. The long off fielder collected just a single. And this time Vibu misses his line too far wide outside off on the leg side. That'd be a wide. And I say too far wide outside off on the leg side. I purposely said it because Nemish is that sort of a batsman who can do these cheeky things, who can just change his guard, change, move around to just upset the rhythm of the bowler. This time he'll take a single and get off strike. Last ball of the 17th. Four have come off this over and a wicket. Make that five with one more ball to go. And the dot to end. Just five and a wicket of that. After 17, the Rising Stars are now 139 for 8 with 40 runs required in the last three. Nemish does the smart thing, stabs it on the vacant leg side, take a single, get Sharad on strike. If there's anyone who can win the game for his side from here, it is Sharad. 39 of 17 deliveries, and it's Dheeraj on the other end who has been absolutely magnificent for his side, especially in these end overs. And a quicker one, push through. wide down the leg side. You see, that's been the hallmark of Dheeraj's spell. He's been mixing his length up. This time again, trying to bowl quick. His idea, his intention is to not give anything to Sharad, bowl it into his body, and more importantly, bowl it quick. And that is where he has missed his line twice. Will we see a change of pace? And yes, you do. One which was flighted gets it off the inside half of the bat towards fine leg for a single. And Nemish wanted a single there, but there was never a run. So good call by Sharad to send him back. The idea is to take the game deep, try and get as close to the target as possible. So, mind you, it's a group stage match, so your net run rate also matters. And another one down the leg side for Dheeraj. You can see what he's trying to do. Three wides in this over already. Make that four wides. So Dheeraj is making the game interesting, no doubt about that. Oh, this one was bowled full. Nemish trying to go straight down the ground again, and inside edge towards fine leg for just another single. The required rate over 14. Sharad this time throws his bat at it, not in complete control. The fielder at long on will cover it and keep it down just to another couple of runs. The question is, where are the big shots? Who is going to try and get those big shots if the Rising Stars want to get back into the game? Another one yorked. Nemish hits it straight down the ground towards long off. Happy to take that single. And the 18th comes to an end. The Rising Stars now 149 for the loss of 8 wickets. Another 31 runs is what they require in the last 2 overs. And Amol Saxena comes in to bowl his second over. Penalty at one of the game, keeping it away out of his arc. Starts off with a dot. This time opens the face of the bat towards the fielder at point, and oh, and again there was could have been a chance. The batter just collided in between. Another tough chance at the non-strikers, and the bowler couldn't gather it. Happened twice or thrice in this game. This one was a rather close one compared to the others, that's for sure. Hit hard to the fielder at deep covers, this time in only a single. So that's good bowling. Amol doing well to close the game out for his side. He knows that even if he gives singles, that's fine. The game is going to be wide open. Just needs to ensure they don't get boundaries and sixes. Flicked by Nemish, just another single. And a dot. And last ball of the 19th. Again, keeping it wide outside of, away from Sharad Zak. Gets it off the bottom of the bat. Take a single. 19 over 154. Just 5 runs coming off that Amol Saxena's over. 25 is what the Rising Stars now require off the last over. Vibhu starts off with a dot ball. This time hit straight down the ground. And you can see Sharad sort of accepted that fact. Just get another single. That's a dead ball that did slip out of his hands, but the other way. So he's trying to do something, some variation or something, but the touch didn't come out of his hand the way he intended to. Towards long on, make that another single. And this will be down the leg side for a wide. Another one towards long on. Add another single to the board. We're just one ball away from the closure of this game. The NIS Lakers have already closed the game out on their side way before, but the official closure, last ball of the game. Siddharth slices it. Fielder in the deep will let that ball go to the boundary. So 4 to end after 20 overs. 167 is what the NIS Lakers restrict the Rising Stars to. See, that's the last ball where it all officially ended, and the NIS Lakers win the game comfortably by 15 runs. Wonderful game of cricket today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.